Last year was so special. Talk to us about how much it means to be back.
It means the world to me, and it says a lot of my progress and how I've developed as a player and as a person.
The center court crowd had witnessed something extraordinary. A 21-year-old from the Philippines had just dethroned the defending Wimbledon champion, sending shockwaves through the All England club. But what happened next would prove even more unforgettable. When Alexandra Eala stood before the microphone, tears streaming down her face, she delivered words that would echo across the globe and touch millions of hearts. She did not talk about rankings, prize money, or her next opponent. She talked about a little girl with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks who trained every day after school with her brother and grandfather. The tennis world had seen upsets before. It had seen champions fall and underdogs rise, but it had never seen an interview quite like this one, raw, vulnerable, unfiltered, and utterly captivating. Within hours, the video had gone viral, amassing millions of views across social media platforms. Sports fans from every corner of the globe were sharing their reactions. The Filipino diaspora wept with pride, and a nation of 110 million people found their new hero. But what exactly did she say that moved the world to tears? And why has this single interview become one of the most watched moments in Wimbledon history? The answer reveals everything about why Alex Eala is not just winning matches, she is winning hearts. The final ball had barely landed. Iga Swiatek's title defense was over, and in its place stood a 21-year-old from the Philippines who had just produced the biggest victory of her career. The scoreline read 7-6, 11-9, 6-2, but numbers could never capture the magnitude of what had just unfolded on center court. Alexandra Eala collapsed onto the grass, her body trembling with emotion. She rolled onto her back, tears streaming down her cheeks as center court rose to applaud one of the biggest upsets of the year's championships. The defending champion was gone. The six-time Grand Slam winner had been dethroned, and a nation of over 110 million people had found their new hero. The opening set had lasted 84 minutes, a tense battle that tested every ounce of Eala's nerve. She saved 2 set points before edging the tiebreak 11-9 after more than an hour of intense baseline exchanges. Swiatek, the world know, 3 and reigning Wimbledon champion, committed 44 unforced errors as Eala's aggressive left-handed game and fearless shot-making proved too much to handle. Eala had entered the championships with strong momentum, having collected 11 grass court victories this summer, including a win over Elena Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion. Her rankings had climbed to number 29, and she was seeded for the first time in a Grand Slam main draw. But the most unforgettable moment was yet to come. When Eala stepped to the microphone for her on-court interview, the tears continued to flow. Her voice cracked, her words faltered, and then she spoke the words that would break the internet. The interview was over in less than 2 minutes. But those 2 minutes would transform Alex Eala from a rising tennis star into a global phenomenon. When Eala stepped to the microphone for her on-court interview, the tears continued to flow. Her voice cracked, her words faltered, and then she spoke the words that would break the internet. "I don't know how to describe it," she began, her voice trembling. "I'm really emotional. Maybe for someone like Iga, who has won so many slams, or maybe someone like Serena or Venus, this achievement may seem small. But for someone who grew up in the Philippines..." She paused, the silence stretching as she fought to compose herself. The crowd waited, captivated by a moment that transcended sport. "I went to train with my brother and my grandfather every day after school with my ruffled socks, my light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks. So to be here, this is everything." The center court crowd erupted, not just with applause but with something deeper, a recognition that they had just witnessed a moment of pure, unfiltered humanity. This was not a carefully rehearsed victory speech. This was a young woman speaking to her younger self, to the little girl who had dared to dream of standing on the most famous court in tennis. But the interview did not end there. Eala, ever the competitor, quickly shifted her tone from emotional to determined. She wiped her tears, smiled, and delivered a message that would become a rallying cry for her fans around the world. "Obviously, because I'm emotional does not mean I'm satisfied. So, okay, next round, let's go." The contrast was jarring and captivating. One moment she was in tears speaking to the little girl inside her. The next, she was announcing to the world that she was not finished, that the dream was not complete, that the hunger remained. Eala also reflected on what it meant to see the Philippine flag waving in the crowd throughout the match. "It's incredible to have my countrymen cheering me on and knowing that we're all in this together," she said. "This goes out to them. This goes out to my family. This goes out to all of the little girls who had ruffled socks and chubby cheeks. It means the world. But perhaps the most powerful part of her message was what she shared about her childhood in the Philippines. Eala had grown up playing on a tennis court painted over a basketball court, with basketball hoops so close to the baseline that she could not step back too far without running into them. There were no grass courts in the Philippines, no Wimbledon-like conditions, just a makeshift court in Quezon City and a dream that refused to die. "I hold Wimbledon very close to my heart," she said. "Being able to play here on center court the second year in a row, it's amazing for me to be able to do that and to have these intense moments in this level of competition on essentially the best stage in the world for tennis." She spoke about being a role model for young girls, saying it would be the honor of my life to be able to inspire others. But she also made it clear what kind of inspiration she wanted to provide. "I don't want them to look at me and say, I want to be the next Alex Eala. I want them to look at me and say, wow, I want to be the first me. I want to make my own path." And in that moment, Alex Eala became more than a tennis player. She became an icon. Within hours, the video had gone viral across every major social media platform. The clip was shared by celebrities, athletes, and fans from every corner of the globe. And the reactions were unlike anything the tennis world had ever seen. The interview was over in less than 2 minutes, but those 2 minutes would transform Alex Eala from a rising tennis star into a global phenomenon. Within hours of her emotional center court interview, the video had gone viral across every major social media platform. The clip was shared by celebrities, athletes, and fans from every corner of the globe. And the reactions were unlike anything the tennis world had ever seen. Tennis legends Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova were among the first to celebrate Eala's achievement. King, a 39-time Grand Slam champion and one of the sport's most respected figures, took to social media with a message that resonated far beyond the tennis world. "She is the first Filipino to reach the round of 16. Such an inspiration for kids in the Philippines and all over the world. Keep going for it, Alex," King wrote. Navratilova, another legend of the sport, went even further in her praise. "Alex Eala, she is building a whole new craze in Southeast Asia and the Philippines, bringing more fans into tennis," she said, recognizing that Eala's impact was about more than just her on-court performance. But perhaps the most significant endorsement came from Maria Sharapova, the 5-time Grand Slam champion and former world no. 1, whom Eala had long described as her super idol for the way she played, her mentality, and how she presented herself, commented on a Wimbledon social media post about Eala's victory with just 2 words, "a star." For Eala, who had grown up idolizing Sharapova, the recognition was overwhelming. The celebrity endorsements continued to pour in. Hollywood actor Andrew Garfield, who had been sitting in the center court stands watching the match, described the moment in an interview with British Vogue as really kind of inspiring. The Spider-Man star was among the high-profile spectators at Eala's center court match, which also included Grand Slam legend Roger Federer. But it was not just the celebrities who were moved. The global tennis community had found its new hero. Filipino celebrities and public figures flooded Eala's social media with messages of pride and congratulations. Actress Bea Fabregas wrote, "Thank you for the fight, Alex," in Tagalog. Fellow actress Ia Villania said, "Aside from your skill, your character's something we're the proudest of." "We all love you, Alex." Renowned singer-songwriter Ogie Alcacid praised Eala's grit, humble confidence, and undeniable grace, saying, "You are absolutely amazing, Alex." The reaction from fans was even more powerful. On Eala's Instagram post, where she shared photos from center court and dedicated her victory to the girls with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks, the comments poured in by the thousands. "The little girl with ruffled socks just inspired an entire nation," one fan wrote. Eala's post-match press conference revealed the depth of her character. When asked about being a role model for young girls, she offered a response that would be shared and celebrated across the globe. "It's an honor to be able to pave the way for young girls. It would be the honor of my life to inspire others because inspiration is such a beautiful thing," she said. But she also made it clear what kind of inspiration she wanted to provide. "I try to be as authentic as I can. I believe in being genuine. I believe in my values. This platform allows me to be the best version of myself. A lot look up to me, but the main message here is, don't look at me and say I want to be the next Alex Eala. I want them to look at me and say I want to be the first me. I want to make my own path." The global reaction to Eala's interview proved that she had touched something universal. It was not just about tennis. It was about dreams. It was about perseverance. It was about a little girl with ruffled socks and chubby cheeks who refused to stop believing. While Eala was captivating crowds at Wimbledon, something extraordinary was happening 6,000 miles away. In Manila, an entire nation had stopped to watch. Approximately 8,000 fans gathered at the Philsports Arena in Pasig to watch Eala's 4th-round clash against Jasmine Paolini. The venue was packed, the energy was electric. And despite heavy rains battering the city, no one was leaving. They had come to witness history. Sports arenas around the country hosted watch parties for thousands of supporters to cheer on the 21-year-old, who had broken new ground for her nation just by winning a match here. One arena near Manila opened its doors 4 hours ahead of the local scheduled start time of 9:30 p.m. so fans could secure their seats. The images of Eala's victory over Swiatek had already gone viral, capturing the imagination of almost the entire 120 million population of the Philippines. Eala's rise came at a time when the country was hungry for sporting success. The nation had not had many female sports stars to cheer on the global stage, with men's boxing legend Manny Pacquiao and gymnast Carlos Yulo flying the flag. But Eala was different. She represented something new, but perhaps the most striking tribute came from tennis royalty. 7-time Grand Slam champion Venus Williams, who had partnered with Eala in doubles at the Bad Homburg Open just weeks before Wimbledon, celebrated her achievement on social media. "Congrats to my other doubles partner at alex.eala for making history," Williams posted on her Instagram story. Eala reposted it with a simple but powerful caption, "I am honored." The reaction from fans was even more powerful. On Eala's Instagram post, where she shared photos from center court and dedicated her victory to the girls with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks, the comments poured in by the thousands. "The little girl with ruffled socks just inspired an entire nation," one fan wrote. Eala herself was deeply aware of the responsibility she carried. "It's so sentimental to be able to wear things or to carry parts of my culture with me on court, because of course it's a huge reason as to who I am," she explained. "And for me to be able to represent the Philippines in Wimbledon, I guess, and in the biggest stages in the world, it means so much to me." Her fans were not just watching, they were mobilizing. Eala stayed on court for as long as possible to sign autographs after her matches, recognizing the sacrifice her supporters had made to be there. "Of course, I also want to give them my time," Eala told reporters. "It's extremely hard to get tickets here at Wimbledon, so I'm very happy with the support." The Philippine government also took notice. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., who was on a state visit in Canada at the time, took a moment to congratulate her. "There are days when an entire nation celebrates together. Today is one of those days," he said in a statement. "Congratulations, Alex Eala. You have become the first Filipino ever to reach the 4th round of Wimbledon." And the whole country couldn't be prouder. What Eala did not realize was that her presence was becoming economically significant. The Eala effect was not just about filling stadiums. It was about transforming the entire tournament experience. And the WTA had stumbled upon something they had not anticipated, a global phenomenon that transcended the sport itself. The final chapter of this story is not about tennis matches or ranking points. It is about a moment that transcended sport and touched the hearts of millions around the world. When Alex Eala stood on center court, tears streaming down her face, and spoke about the little girl with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks, she did more than deliver a post-match interview. She created a viral moment that would be shared, celebrated, and remembered for generations. The video spread across every social media platform within hours. Celebrities, athletes, and fans from every corner of the globe shared their reactions. Hollywood actor Andrew Garfield, who had been watching from the stands, described it as really kind of inspiring. Tennis legends Billie Jean King and Martina Navratilova praised Eala's achievement, with King calling her such an inspiration for kids in the Philippines and all over the world. But perhaps the most significant response came from the fans themselves. On Eala's Instagram post, where she dedicated her victory to the girls with ruffled socks, light-up shoes, and chubby cheeks, the comments poured in by the thousands. "The little girl with ruffled socks just inspired an entire nation," one fan wrote, capturing the emotion that followed her historic Wimbledon victory. The viral moment was not just about emotion. It was about representation. In a country where sports like tennis often receive limited funding and support, Eala's journey had become something far greater than a personal success story. For many young Filipinos, especially girls, dreaming of reaching the world's biggest sporting stages can feel almost impossible. Eala's victory became a reminder that no dream is too distant, no matter where you come from. Her words resonated far beyond the center court. As someone who grew up in the Philippines, Eala knew how difficult the path could be. She had trained on a tennis court painted over a basketball court, with basketball hoops so close to the baseline that she could not step back too far without running into them. There were no grass courts in the Philippines, no Wimbledon-like conditions, just a makeshift court in Quezon City and a dream that refused to die. "It's an honor to be able to pave the way for young girls," Eala had said in her post-match press conference. It would be the honor of my life to be able to inspire others. But she also made it clear what kind of inspiration she wanted to provide. I don't want them to look at me and say, I want to be the next Alex Eala. I want them to look at me and say, wow, I want to be the first me. I want to make my own path. The viral moment had achieved something that no amount of marketing or promotion could have accomplished. It had made Eala relatable. It had made her human. And in doing so, it had turned her into one of the most beloved athletes in the world. Even in defeat, Eala's impact endured. When she walked off center court after her fourth-round loss to Jasmine Paolini, the applause was deafening. The crowd was not applauding a defeat. They were applauding a journey. They were applauding a woman who had given everything. The viral moment she had created days earlier had already secured her place in Wimbledon history. The question now is not whether Alex Eala will return to the grandest stages of tennis. She will. She has the talent, the determination, and the support of a nation behind her. The question is whether the tennis world will continue to recognize the power of moments like these. Because the Eala effect was not a fluke. It was a movement. And movements do not end when a player loses a match. They continue in the hearts of the millions who were inspired. To that little girl, this is everything, Eala had said. And in that moment, she became everything to a nation.